Oh, I'm live. Okay. Hey, what's up, everybody? So, earlier in my Facebook group, we were talking a little bit about some of the issues that people are commonly having while flipping phones. One of the big things is that people are tired of leads rejecting their offers and they just want to have a better understanding of why. The business would be a lot easier if everybody just accepted your offer and they were nicer to you, right? That's what we all want. But life don't work that way. You might talk to 20 to 50 people a day. They call you names, they block you, and you get pissed off. So, I'm going to talk to you a little bit about why that happens. And I'm going to talk to you a little bit about how you can effectively deal with it and also sometimes bring yourself out of it. So, just to give you guys a little background, I've been working in sales for about 8 years. So, I have a lot of experience closing leads and dealing with leads and understanding the mindset and the psychology behind it. So, typically, what happens is this, right? We know that we want to buy a phone. We know that if we get the phone, we're going to make money. So, we get caught up on the idea of making money and we don't really focus so much on the lead. Like you got to remember first and foremost, what does your customer want? Well, they want to get money too. They're trying to speak with you and sell you their phone so that they can make money. So you got two people focused on the wrong thing from the beginning. What you really need to do is focus on the relationship. And I've spoken about this before as well. A lot of people will just message people and go straight for the kill. You have people making offers as soon as they message people or as soon as people message them. And that's not really the way that it's supposed to flow. You see, in sales or in any business, for example, imagine going into the bank, right? And you go to the teller, and instead of greeting you, I mean, I hope tellers are greeting you guys when you go into the bank. Um, yeah, maybe not that example. Let's say you go into McDonald's. You go into McDonald's, they say, "Hi, how can I help you?" Or "What would you like to eat?" Something along the lines of that. They're supposed to ask you how you're doing. I feel like I'm giving really bad examples with these places because, like, I'm thinking about it and I'm like, oh, you get horrible service when you go into these places. So think about a place that you guys go into and you get really good service, right? The ideal experience, you go in, someone greets you, they ask how you're doing. You guys have a brief little icebreaker. It's not like you just walk in and they're like trying to sell you something. And a lot of the times in this business, that's exactly what we do. Someone will message us, "Hey, I got a phone for sale." Okay, great. I'll give you this amount of money for your phone. Like you haven't even had a conversation with people. So for some of you, that might be your big problem. You're making offers too soon. You're not getting enough information. You're not building a relationship with your lead, right? So I'm going to talk to you guys about the psychology of a lead, an advanced tactic called framing. It's actually from a book that I'm reading right now, just to kind of give you guys a little overview of it. So basically, we all have different types of frames in our mind, right? Like the human mind works like this. We're very primitive in nature. If someone throws something at you, you're gonna flinch or you're gonna get scared. And that's even how our mind works in a negotiation, right? If you say something to somebody that they don't like, they're gonna flinch, they're gonna get scared, and they're gonna pull away from you. So you always have to keep that in the forefront of front of your mind when you're negotiating with people. Now, what happens is in a negotiation, a lot of the time when you feel like people are losing interest, we tend to go faster. And what you really need to do is instead of going faster, you need to slow it down, right? You need to qualify. Like you make an offer on a phone and you feel the lead pulling out of the conversation, you need to slow down. You want to slow down in the conversation and you want to kind of rewind. You want to ask a little bit more questions. Um, I'll give you an example. You message somebody, they tell you that they have, an iPhone 7, and instead of just shooting out an offer right away, learn a little bit more about it. Find out why they're selling the phone. That's part of the qualification process, right? Instead of just making offers or getting the condition of the phone right away, maybe you want to find out why they're selling a phone so you guys can figure out why people are rejecting your offers. Sometimes people just legit reject your offers because they're not qualified. And I talked about this before as well. Um, Maybe they just want to upgrade the phone. You're not negotiating with someone that wants to upgrade generally because they're going to get a better deal when they go to the Apple store. You can try if you want. You might not be very successful because these are usually people who are going to snap back and say, "Oh, well, I'm just going to go to the Apple store." And those aren't really the kinds of people you want to be spending your time with, because your time is valuable. Um, Another thing that I want to add: be funny, man. Don't be boring with these leads. Like, people like to laugh. Like, I joke with my leads all the time. I have a conversation with them. We keep in touch. They always come back to me when they have stuff for sale because I make people laugh. Like, I had one person message me one time with a phone. I just made them laugh. Like, I mean, I do it all the time. I always make people laugh. I make people laugh every day. I'll get to a meetup, I'll make jokes. I'm always making people laugh. So you just want to keep them interested, keep them engaged, and you guys will definitely do a lot better with your leads. I was about to say a story, but I forgot the story. So that's why I kind of froze for a second. You want to share personal stories with people, like when you're negotiating with them. Sometimes people don't really understand, like, that the phones are actually, the offer that you're giving them is fair. Sometimes you want to share that, oh, maybe you made that type of deal with somebody before. Like, if you're offering somebody $100 for an iPhone 7, help them understand, like, listen, I just bought it from someone for that price the other day. They don't really get it. When you make the connection that you've already done it with someone else, they'll feel more comfortable giving you the price that you're asking for. What else? What else can I cover? And then also, just to understand, like, you're going to deal with different types of people. You're going to deal with people who are analytical. You're going to deal with people who like to be in control. You're going to deal with people who like to use time as their friend, as your enemy. So you need to be mindful of these things in your negotiations. A lot of the times you might not be aware that people are using these things against you, and it could be a reason that you're losing a deal. For example, if you're dealing with someone that's analytical, every little detail matters. You want to ask them questions about the detail because you're going to be able to use that against them. However, if you're dealing with someone that is sensitive to time, the longer you wait, the less likely you are to close the lead. And then you also have people who just like to talk. So if you have a lead who wants to have a conversation and not just be closed right away, and you're just getting straight to the point, that's also going to be a reason that you're losing the lead, because you're going to lose that lead to someone else who's holding their attention. They're keeping them engaged in conversation. A lot of people don't just want to be asked a whole bunch of questions back to back to back. You really have to get a better understanding of people's personalities. We could do, you could do role play with your friends, your family. Just ask them, how you're doing with these different things. But you definitely have to be mindful of all the different personalities when you're in a negotiation, because all of this stuff comes into play. Um, and then this is also a big one. You're going to come across people that are non-reactive, right? You're going to, maybe you make an offer and they don't respond. Their mind is wandering, right? You want to bring them back into the conversation, and that's what comes back earlier to that qualification process, right? If you know that somebody is selling their phone to get cash, that's a way to get their attention back. Maybe you send an offer and they don't answer. You could say something like, hey, did you still need that cash to pay your rent? This is something that's going to grab the attention of a non-reactive person, someone who's stuck and their mind wandered. Maybe they thought it was too low, maybe you upset them, things like that. So you want to bring them back in, and you want to do that by saying things that's going to catch and hold their attention. I hope all of this is helpful. I hope I added value for you guys. I hope that this answered some questions that you guys have. And please definitely comment below, drop a like, and subscribe if you guys thought this was helpful. I'll do more videos by request. This one was by request as well. So I hope that this helps you guys grow your business. So that's it for today. Have a good night. Peace.